Right now, this is just a pile of wool. A few weeks from now, I hope it will be a collection of naturally colored Lopi yarn spun from our Icelandic sheep. But before Tour de Fleece can really begin, we need to take all these fleeces through the most unglamorous but necessary part of production. So last video, you saw Alex and I as we sorted through all that fiber from the loft. And believe me, there's still a whole bunch up there, but I think we made some really good choices in getting that variety that we're going for with this Tour de Fleece challenge. In case you missed that video, the challenge I'm going for this year is creating a rainbow palette that represents the farm, represents all the colors that our Icelandic sheep can produce. And that is something that I've always aspired to do, but never quite got there. And I'm hoping to do all of this with all natural fiber, no dyes. We're going to go for at least 9 different colors. So those 10 fleeces you saw us skirting and going through are already down on the table here behind me, and it is now time to get sorting through them. So today, with all this fiber, we're starting the next step. And this is going to be ongoing for the next 2 weeks as we get ready for Tour de Fleece. So some of the wool, as you can see here, is already washed and fluffed and ready for the carder. Some is still in the loft, exactly where I left it after shearing. But before we can make any of this into yarn, it all needs a little bit of attention. It's like being on a bunch of pillows. There's a lot of fiber and I love it. One of the things that I really love about raising these Icelandic sheep is that every fleece tells a story. Every bag in here, I know what sheep that came from. Hi, Maury. Now, Maury is my favorite fleece color. Hey, hi, girl. We're getting to that point, really, where almost all the sheep are pretty friendly. When I look at these colors, I don't just see fiber. I see the sheep that grew it. I remember the shearing day often quite well because they don't always go so good. I remember the lambs these ewes raised. I remember watching them move through the pastures all year. And that is one of the reasons why I love spinning. Spinning slows things down, especially on a hectic homestead life. In a world right now where most things are mass produced and disconnected from their source, spinning makes you pay attention to where something came from, to the work involved in creating it. And for me, I think about the animal that made it possible in the first place. And of course, before I can sit down and spin for Tour de Fleece, I need to deal with the reality of this fiber stash. Some of these fleeces have been waiting for me to do something with them for years, as you saw in the last video. Every time I walked past them, I had plans. I was going to wash them next weekend. I was going to spin them over the winter. I had so many excuses because life just got in the way. So really, our mission for the next 2 weeks is quite simple. Get it washed, get it carded, have it ready before Tour de Fleece starts. And then that way, I can focus on the spinning rather than having to do the prep work at the same time during the challenge. For the fleeces that still need washing, this is the stage where we remove all that dust and dirt and excess lanolin. Really, it is not the most exciting job, but it makes a huge difference later. But one of the things that I really appreciate about Icelandic wool or fiber, and I'm going to mention a couple here, but is that they do not have a lot of lanolin. It makes a huge difference when it comes to cleaning up that fiber. The other thing that is wonderful about Icelandic wool is it is resilient. I mean, I'd like to say, oh, if you store it correctly, it could last for years. I have never stored it correctly. I am terrible at looking after my fiber, and I know that comes from the fact of having excess. It becomes somewhat disposable, and I know that's terrible. It's never disposed. It becomes garden mulch or whatever it needs to become. But even fleeces that have been stored for years can wash up beautifully. And it is always so surprising when you wash them up just what color they come out as, because you could think you got a cream sheep and you've really got a gray sheep, or anyways, we'll get there. And sometimes they surprise you entirely by being completely different than what you expected. So first step for me is we're going to choose one of these bags and we're going to go for it. And I'm going to let you in on a little teaser. I've already started on the black and white because I'm super excited about that. And you already saw the brown and white in the previous video. Although with the brown and white, hang on, we're going to talk about that first. All right, guys, are you ready? This is so exciting to me. I think this is going to be my favorite fiber of the whole Tour de Fleece. But look, here it comes. I washed this one up already. I could not wait to see what it was going to turn out like. And it is just as beautiful as I thought it was going to be. All that, just gorgeous floof. It's going to make such beautiful variegated yarn. A little bit more vegetable matter than I would have liked to have seen in it, but there'll be areas that really they're going to get tucked off to the side, and I might in the future make the effort to pick them out, but I might also not. but the part that I'm most excited about, because this was one lamb fleece and I was like, oh, it's the only one I got. We're just going to see what happens and go with it. Look what I found. Look what I found. Another one. And this is where I was talking about that thing of it doesn't look white, but I guarantee you this is white, or at least pretty darn close creamy white. So I'm going to get this one washed up as well so that I have double the amount, which means I might end up with maybe 10 skeins, 100 grams each. I'm really hoping to, at least for the tour, spin 4 of each color, but I'd like to make sure it's really nicely blended, just in case this is a little bit of a different color. I will be honest with you, this fleece is so old, I'm not even sure what sheep it came from, but it is definitely lamb, just like this one. So it's going to be beautiful. I may end up just having to make a sweater or something with it, test myself and see if I can spin a little thinner than I normally do on a Lopi style, but that's all to come. I know these are how my videos go. I'm just going to roll and I'm just going to talk as if you guys were right here with me, because this is how I function. I just kind of get on a path and I just work it all out loud. All right, so now that you've seen that gorgeous brown, we're going to get out this black and white and get a plan for washing. Remember, Goody wasn't as black as I thought. She was just a lot of white. So luckily I had quite a bit of really good black and whites and the gray and white. So we're just going to take a little bit from each fleece and we're going to blend them all together. So my method of washing is pretty simple. I use 5-gallon buckets. Now I used to wash my fiber outside in big Rubbermaid totes doing a whole fleece at a time, but I found it did not get it clean enough for my liking. Once I tried this method, I really just never went back to doing huge quantities at a time. Yes, it was a time saver, but in the end, I spent more time feeding it through the carder and it just didn't spin as smoothly as really nice clean fleece does with the lanolin completely removed. I know there's people who like to spin in the grease. I'm just not one of them. I don't do it well. Maybe with some practice and some time spent, I could improve on that, but for now, I'm going to use the method that I use. So this is my 5-gallon bucket. I'm going to fill it 3/4 full with a mixture of fiber here, and then we're going to take it upstairs. I want a mixture. I want to make sure I get some of this really dark, some of the gray, and then I want to make sure I mix in quite a bit of Goody's white fiber, because that's the one that I have a huge surplus of, and it needs to be mixed in with that brown, which is actually supposed to be black, but really it's brown. All right, so we have about 3/4. When I push it down, it's about here, about the halfway mark in both of our pots. Well, guys, here we go. We've finally got a nice day to be working on this fiber outside and getting hopefully a whole bunch cleaned up. As you can see behind me here, I did sneak ahead and wash some of the black and white, but we've still got what I've set aside in those buckets to go, and we're going to get busy. I've got everything we need set up here. I've got my buckets, I've got my spinner, and I've got my drying rack. Really, other than the dish soap and the boiling water, there's not much else to add to this. I'm going to kind of quickly talk you through here and just splice over footage, but we're going to fill these buckets 3/4 full with water, and we're going to add those 6 cups from the kettle just to get it up to that 140, because our tap water only comes out at about 120. Then we're going to add our 2 tablespoons of Dawn dish soap. Now, I do tend to add this as I'm putting the water in just to get a bit of a lather so that it kind of blends and mixes and, becomes part of the water. There's a word for that. I know there is. I can't think of it right now. It'll come to me in the middle of the night. All right, so we've got our water ready to go, nice and hot. We're going to just transfer one bucket to the next. The one thing you want to really be careful with is no agitation. The agitation is what will make this felt. So I use my old salad spinner, and I just use that to press it down. And look at the state of that water already. No fleece is ever clean. Yuck. Then we're going to let that sit for a minimum of 15 to 20 minutes. I will be honest, I do let it sit a little longer than that because often it is too hot to get my hands in to really kind of press out some of that water as we're dumping it. But once we've got it to the point we can drain off all that excess water, we're going to put it into my big ass salad spinner. This was an awesome buy from Habitat for Humanity, and I think it was 20 bucks. And I have used this thing all the time. It spins it out like a dream. So once we've got that first round spun out, then we're going to do a second wash. You could skip this step if you've got some really clean fleece, but to be honest, I do all of my fleece with a second wash. Only 1 tablespoon of Dawn this time because you don't want it too saturated in the soap so that it's easier to rinse out. At this point, I do not add that extra 6 cups of water. I just use my regular tap water because really most of that lanolin came out in the first round, and now we're just really starting to get rid of the grime and grit. 15-minute wait again, and then we're just draining, spinning, and then it's into rinse. And if you're lucky and it was clean fleece, you might get away with 1 rinse. And if not, you're going to need 2. But rinse doesn't need to soak as long. This is really just to get the soap and the grime out. The one thing I will say that I've started doing, and this was a tip, I'm not exactly sure where it came from or where I heard it. I think it was actually on a podcast or in a book that I was listening to on Audible, but vinegar. Put vinegar into your rinse water. I can't get over the difference it's made on my fiber when it comes out. It just seems to be, I don't know the whole ins and outs of what it does. I could look it up and maybe include that in a future video if somebody really wants to know, or you can look it up yourself. But it does seem to, whether it's the acidity, it just neutralizes the soap and it really comes out softer and cleaner. I don't know how else to explain it. We'll see it when we get to carding, that's for sure. So once we're all said and done and rinsed, onto the drying rack it goes. I only have my small drying rack out here today because it's threatening to rain later, so I might have to bring it all inside. But tomorrow's looking beautiful, 30 degrees, so hopefully we can get a bunch more cleaned up in some different colors. But right now we're going to get the rest of the black and white on here and then see where we can get to after that. Okay, so while our buckets are on their final rinse, they're going to soak for about 10 minutes. I decided I was going to start kind of fluffing through this black and white that I have on here. It's a little bit damp still in the areas where it's clumped. So if I can kind of fluff those, I'm going to do so, but we're not really doing anything with this today. So it's got some more time. But while I was doing that, I was going to tell you why you should use the vinegar because I figured I couldn't leave you guys hanging on that. So I looked it up. So it is to neutralize the pH in the soap, which is kind of what I thought and sort of said in a roundabout way. But it also helps to soften the fibers and prevent static, which I think jury's still out on that. That's probably why I noticed a change, is because the one thing I often found was like my end fibers here would kind of be a little bit on the crunchy side still. So since switching to putting the vinegar in there, I don't find that at all. Now that could have just been the quality of my washing, but it is warm out here. Fleece is drying quite quickly, which is awesome. So hopefully we can get on to some different colors. I definitely have at least 1 more bucket of black and white to get scoured and washed. I'm not going to take you through every single washing experience. I'm just going to show you the highlights as we start to reveal these colors. Super excited, and then we will move on to carding in the next video. Well, guys, it is pretty much time for this video to be edited in order to get on for the weekend. We have not gotten as much washed as I would have liked. The weather hasn't cooperated with drying. It's been wet, which means we're using the porch to dry things, and it just hasn't been working. But I've pretty much gotten at least a little bit of every color so that we can get started. We're going to keep washing as we keep processing, and probably we'll keep washing as we keep spinning. But I've got my 2 buckets down here. After trying to think of what I last filmed. So you saw me do the we did the badger face. I actually did all of it because some of it, once I got it inside and looking a little bit closer, there really was only 2 buckets, which then led to my process of going, well, I wonder how much I'm putting in each bucket, because it'd be interesting to see how much I actually end up with. So this is a 1 whole side from Gia. We've got 551 grams. So I need to take some out of there because I think that would just be a little bit too much for washing in these small buckets. It turns out I put about 400 grams of dirty fiber in each bucket. So once it is dry, if it finally dries, we will weigh it and see what we ended up with after taking that 800 grams and washing it up. So I'm curious to see, hopefully we will still get 4 or 5 skeins out of that. But we did the gray, we've got the white. I don't even know if I actually showed you a white fleece, but I did end up taking out a white fleece. I still have 1 more round of the black and white to go, and I still have to do the bag of the brown and white that I found to add to what we already have washed. So there's still a lot to process, but I think we're not going to fall short on stuff to card and spin. So the 2 colors that I have left, you're wondering, right? You're wondering what I left till the end. I have Gia. Remember, she was, let me hold that up there. She was that gorgeous dark brown with the red tips. I'm keeping that fleece all on its own, so I'm not worried about just washing a 400 gram bucket for now, just to get something dry to show you the end of this video. I may leave some as teasers too, because if it's not dry, it's not coming down here to start being carded. So we've got to get 400 grams of that one. I'm going to do 400 grams of that Morite that we took out of the barn. So that's where we're at. And now we wash. I really am glad that I measured or weighed what I'm putting in these buckets, because I'm really, really curious. I just keep going through with no concept of how much I'm actually processing here. But we are, do you want me to give you the little spoiler? I guess if you've made it to this point in the video, you still deserve the spoiler. So we are up to 10 colors already. And I'm actually tempted to blend too, but I'm not going to go into that in this video. You're going to have to wait until either carding or Tour De Fleece to see how that turns out and what colors I'm talking about. And just like that, as my studio fills with fiber and becomes a very tiny space, the first stages of the Tour De Fleece challenge are complete. The fleeces that were in the loft have been assessed, and 10 of them are now in the process of being scoured. The fiber that already waited in the house has been sorted, and I can see the collection of colors coming together. What I love about this stage is that every fleece starts to reveal its personality. The dust and dirt are gone, the colors are true and brighter, and we are starting to see hints of what this rainbow of yarn is going to be. But we still are a long way from finished skeins. Right now, this is simply clean wool. The next step is turning it into fiber that is actually ready to spin. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that you don't miss any of this wild ride that is Tour De Fleece for 2026.